Okay, let's take a look at some proactive pruning on the Arizona Cypress. As I showed in another video, um, the Arizona Cypress is susceptible to damage from ice and heavy snow. So I've got a Arizona Cypress here in front of me, and this is the Carolina Sapphire cultivar. And it was probably, on the whole, about twice as big as what you see now. And I chopped the top off up here. You can see that right about where it started to bend severely from winter snow damage. So that's pretty much the end of where the trunk stayed straight, which told me that was the end of the strong wood, and after that it was weak. And I left some branches here on this side to maybe take over and be the new vertical leader. And as you can see all around it, I've chopped back the side branches pretty severely. Let me just go around here. Made some pretty big cuts all over just to kind of reduce the size of the tree horizontally and give it a chance to grow stronger roots and maybe stronger branches and whatever else more time will help it do, because obviously letting it grow unimpeded in Tennessee was awesome because it was insanely fast, but it turns out that came at a cost of weak wood. Let me show you some other ones now. I've taken a different approach. Okay, this one here still has all of its horizontal branching, which I kind of left as a hedge, but up on top you can see I chopped the top out because that's where it started to bend really severely, similar to the last one. And then over here I chopped it even lower because this one was maybe one of the worst ones, very drastically bending after that point. So what I have now is kind of a low Arizona Cypress hedge in this section. The other one here, I left it wasn't leaning too bad. You can see how tall it was. The others were just as tall. They were just leaning. The third one here, I cut the top out right there, you can see. So that one's low now, and the last one, the fifth one in this row, I left tall, and it's growing up into the loblolly pines there. So different approaches, I'm trying different things. Two in the very backyard, the entire trees, Arizona Cypress trees, were leaning from the ground and looked like they had been partially uprooted. And so I cut those down entirely, and I'm going to replace them with different things. So different subject, but related. This is Arizona Cypress, and our native Eastern Redcedar is pretty closely related. They're both in the Cupressaceae division of trees. So right here I have a native Eastern Red Cedar, and I'm going to show you something I'm thinking about on this one too. Okay, here's that same Eastern Red Cedar again, and you can see it's kind of has a bulbous growth pattern. It's not like a spruce that has these Christmas tree branches going off at right angles to the trunk. These branches are kind of turning up, and what I noticed after the snowstorm is that a lot of our native Eastern Red Cedar had pretty bad snow damage as well. So I'm starting to think that I need to trim this one in the same way that I do the Arizona Cypress, and kind of learn a lesson from the Arizona Cypress. So I'm going to find branches like this that have come off the trunk at a right angle and then turned upward, and they're starting to grow upward. And from what I can tell, that's when they get weak and they start to put on excess growth on the side, and it takes away energy from the main trunk. So I'm going to kind of trim them right at the turning point where they start to turn vertical, so they continue horizontal. And hopefully that will do two things. That will add more strength to the main trunk and keep it growing vertically at the top, and then also reduce the amount of weight on these side branches to prevent damage the next time there's an ice storm or heavy snow. And this being Tennessee, ice storms are fairly common, so that's the strategy. One last thing I want to show is how the branches look on the inside of the Eastern Red Cedar. You can see they do come off at good angles, and not all of them turn vertical, so I'm going to leave the horizontal ones alone. So it actually has a really good branching structure near the trunk. I think it just needs some proactive pruning at the ends of the branches to keep everything pointed vertical and prevent horizontal branches from turning into new leaders or subsidiary leaders. I'll let you know how it turns out.